Greetings, greetings, family. Sister Shanice in the house. Welcome, welcome. Yes, you know what time of day it is from you see me coming live. Welcome, welcome to the Sister Shanice Show channel. I'm absolutely delighted to have you in the house. So welcome, welcome, brothers, sisters, Pan-Africanists, comrades, elders, beautiful, beautiful family, the freedom fighters, those of you who are into your history, those of you who are out there doing the works for our community, welcome, welcome. Sister Shanice in the house, taking you through to 8 p.m. this evening, all being well. So delighted to welcome you to another Wednesday show, Ujama Day show. And I've got a guest that's going to be joining me very, very soon. Okay, he's going to be telling you a little bit about an initiative that he's been working on that he's going to be bringing to the community. So hang tight for that, okay? I'm just going to give you a moment or two to get through the door, all righty? And as you can see, let me find myself on YouTube as well, and so I can get the link and start sharing it. So as you can see, family, my book, 360 pages of hard-hitting historical facts. The book has been launched. Yes, it's been launched. It's out there, family. 360 plus pages. My book is entitled Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, an erased African history restored. And, you know, I'm so excited about the book. I want to thank those of you who have already purchased your copy. Remember to send me a picture of yourself actually holding the book. I would be so delighted to have that, okay? I've just remembered, I'm not recording. Let me hit the record button so that if YouTube decide to take down my video, as they often do, I've got a backup copy. So yes, 360 pages of hard-hitting historical facts backed up, okay? And this book actually challenges the Eurocentric perspective of our history. I have rewritten our history in Britain. We have a phenomenon who find it really hard to acknowledge the fact that Africans are the founding fathers of Britain. For those of you who have a serious issue coming to the terms with the fact that it was Africans who first set their foot on the lands of British soil before there was even a white person anywhere on the earth, if you have a problem with that, don't get the book. Okay, don't get the book, because if you do, it will knock you out harder than a Muhammad Ali punch. Okay, so you have been warned. Okay, and when I do my shows, yeah, and I give you some insights into my book, if you can't handle it, just don't tune in. Okay, then I won't have to read some of your, you know, the Eurocentric education system has indoctrinated you. They've indoctrinated all of us with a false narrative about our history, okay? And many of us are going to have to come to terms with the fact that, you know, we were dished a false history, all righty? So there are many like myself that's out there doing the research, and we're coming across, okay, the truth of our history here in Britain, and we are bringing you that knowledge and that information. All right, so get the book. Those of you who want to know the truth, get the book. Right, let me make sure that my screen is good. Okay, all righty, those of you who want to know the truth, get the book. So as you come through the door, please let me know you're in the house. Rise up, brother Kwame Obonche in the house. I'm doing well. How are you doing, beloved? Want to rise up, Tuka Pamoja. Good to have you in the house. Tuka Pamoja is rising us up. Good to have you in the house as well. So if you're in the house, let me know, okay? Drop me a message, and also hit me up with a like, okay? Give us a thumbs up. Don't forget. Yeah, Tuka Pamoja is saying that I'm buffering. I just, you know, doesn't matter where I am in the world, it always happens. I think it's directly linked to YouTube. They're like, oh no, not her again. Let's play with her line, you know? It happens all the time, doesn't it? So my apologies. And to those of you who stay with me and hang on in there, despite the buffering, you know, and enjoy that bumpy ride, nevertheless, you know, I thank you so, so much because just want to let you know that I've got a really interesting show lined up for you today. Yes, I do. It's titled Deadly Flesh Eating Drugs Targeted at the Black stroke African communities around the world. Yes, family. We don't know how things go already, but I'm going to be bringing you some up-to-date information about some really awful drugs that is turning up in West Africa, in the Black communities of the UK, and in the Black communities of the USA. And I'll also be showing you that they've even tried and tested some of these drugs on their own people before unleashing it into our communities. Absolutely awful. But, you know, we know the challenges, especially when they see our people rising up. They will do what they can to try and, you know, stop our people from rising. So looking forward to the show today. While I am behind the scenes, sharing the link for the family, let me welcome and introduce you to a brother by the name of Courtney. Okay, as I said to you, I've got someone behind the scenes who's got an event coming up. Please join us, Courtney. He's got an event coming up, and I'm delighted that he's going to be sharing it with you. Welcome, welcome, Courtney. First of all, introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. Thank you very much, sister, for having me, and to all the Galaxy family. Thank you very much. My name
Oh, we're
is
not Galaxy today. This is the
oh,
Sista Shanice show live on
sorry.
YouTube.
You
Black
show live.
Audience.
I
But
beg
it's
your
okay.
pardon,
As you
please.
mentioned, Galaxy, yes, I'm also a radio presenter on the Big G Galaxy Afiwi, the
Afiwi
only
station.
brainwashing station. Afiwi, for real.
Yes.
So rewind and come again, Brother Courtney.
So my name is Courtney, brother Courtney, Courtney Winston, and I am your brother, and I'm your humble servant. And I am here to really just, talk up the things regarding the uplift and the rising in consciousness of us as a people and the entire human family. I do this through poetry, spoken word. I do this through hosting a book club every Thursday, which we are called the Power of Consent, where we discuss different things that affect us in everyday UK life and global life, and affect solutions. As well as that, we hold events online mostly. And the most recent event that we have organized together is called Sinners Decoded, which will be breaking down the hidden truth of the actual meaning and the intention that Ryan Kluger, the director of the Black Panther, wanted to pull out. So we're going to be hosting that on the 27th via Zoom on the 27th of July.
Sounds awesome. So thank you so much for being so active in the community. We need more brothers like yourself.
Oh, there's
And
plenty. Yeah.
sound of that book club as well. I'll have to check it out, in it, family. So thank you for that intro. Now you
Yes.
mentioned about the film Sinners that you're going to be breaking down. Maybe not everybody has seen the film Sinners. Do you want to give us just a brief synopsis of what that film was all about and why you thought it was important
Yeah.
to an event that's going to be breaking it down?
Sure. Would it be possible to share screen, or would you
Yeah,
just
go
like me?
ahead. Do you want to share screen and put your trailer up?
Yeah, I will definitely show a trailer or a discussion that we have hosted. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right, here it is. This is just oh, right. Get
Go
myself
ahead.
together regarding that. All
So,
right. So this is something I've done for TikTok, and it's just breaking down the hidden meanings behind the movie Sinners and what to expect on the night of the 27th.
okay, sounds good. Did you optimize? Did you optimize the sound?
Right, I'll
You
just
going to
optimize the
screen
sound.
share?
You can tell techie when it comes to these things. Thank you so much. Can you hear it now? Sinners by Ryan Kluger.
You might have to go out and come back in again.
Okay.
And optimize on the way in.
Right. What I will do in that case is that I'll just verbalize it. Just
No, go ahead now.
Oh, sure.
Share screen again. Yeah, it's all
Right.
good.
Okay, sister's gonna walk me through this.
Optimize.
All right. Optimize. Yes, got you. Nice.
Excellent, excellent.
Right. Geez, see, we learn something new every day. Yeah.
Each one teach one, beloved.
Hey, you know what? Me never know that, Optimize.
Yeah, now you do.
Now me know. See it there. All right. Thank you, good sister. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so there's a quick video that is going to describe some. This is the hit movie Sinners by Ryan Kluger. And the Ryan Kluger movie Sinners was based in the year 1932, Clarksdale, Mississippi. We're going to decode why Ryan Kluger based it in 1932. Let me just give you.
Okay, pause and then go for it.
The movie Sinners is based in the year 1932 in Clarksdale, Mississippi. So 1932, what I've done, I'm a man that believes in numerology. 1932 was at the height of Jim Crow. It was at the height of much lynching towards our community. So in this video, what I'm explaining, and we'll go deeper into on the 27th of July, is that I don't believe in coincidence. Movies are the new ways of teaching hieroglyphs. Even the term Hollywood, it comes from the term or the tree known as the holly tree, where the Druids, the ancient Druid sisters talking about the ancient blacks of Ireland and Britain, we would, or what would be known as the wizard would take material from the holly tree to cast spells on the masses of people, or illusions, if you will. So it's no coincidence that you've got studios called in a location called Hollywood, or if somebody wants good luck or good fortune, they use the term touch wood. You know, Harry Potter movies, you have the wand that is to cast spells upon people. Now, the term spells, it shouldn't be anything that is of that's going to make us feel spooky, because we go to school to learn how to spell with wooden HB pens in cursive writing. See, the English language is what is called double speak. It has double or even triple meanings phonetically. So what we have done and what we will do on the night of the 27th is show phonetically and numerologically speaking and historically speaking and as ancestrally speaking, where you and I have been taught that spells, magic spells, are negative, that black magic is the devil worship. And what Ryan Kluger cleverly did, he has showed us with so much Easter eggs that this movie is about colonial Christianity versus African and black spirituality. Because there's a part of the film where you have the young man who leads in the movie called Samuel Moore. See, think about that. Samuel, which means a calling of God, Samuel, and Moore, obviously the Moors who came to Europe via Spain. Now you'll notice that Samuel Moore holds a guitar. The guitar instrument was brought to Europe, but via the Moors, via Spain, into Ireland and the rest of the European continent. So it's not a coincidence that the character has a guitar and that they call musicians griots in Africa, in African culture. Griots or griots, or for the Irish, the Philly, you know, or for the Choctaw Indians, the fire storytellers. So Ryan Kluger has given us a deep insight into our history. And it would behoove us to go and unpack the movie to now see the history as it is a Monday hieroglyph. Then you're not going to be able to look at the hieroglyph and tell exactly what it is without understanding the language of the birds, as my good mentor and teacher, Andrew Muhammad, teaches. We need to learn how to decode movies today, symbols and signs, to unearth the real meaning, as well as with numbers, the Ryan Coogler movie was based in 1932. Now, when you change 3, 2 back to front, you got the year 1923. What happened in America in the year 1923? There was a place called Greenwood, Rosewood, where many a self-sustaining Black community was set upon by white supremacists, where a village, a whole community was burnt down. We were doing for self in America in that year. So I sincerely believe that Ryan Coogler is giving us clues, Easter eggs, hieroglyphs for us to go and decode so that we can extract the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding from it. So that's what this clip here is all about. And that's just the tip of the iceberg as to what we're going to go into on the 27th of July.
Sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just going to say, sounds amazing.
Right, sorry, sis.
The only thing I'd ask is that, you know, we don't use the term white supremacists. They're not the supreme. We use the term white terrorists, you know, white vandals, but definitely not supreme.
They're not supreme. Only
not supremacists.
Yeah, the reality is that when we look at the judicial system, the educational system, the fiscal financial system, we understand that there's a dominant group, a dominant collective that are dominating other people, even their own, in these different various institutions. In terms of what we mean, they're not supreme, no way, but put themselves in a dominant position.
Yeah, you call them the white dominators then.
Yeah, you can do that. You can say that. You can say that.
Yeah, because word is power. That's what you're going to say. You know, words are powerful.
That's right.
We don't want to be giving them the power.
Oh no, they don't have no power at all. No. But you see, what it is, sister. You see, when we as a people identify those who are the dominant society, and I'm not talking about Bob or Joan or even Karen next door, but we're talking about a mindset and a mentality or a disposition that will subjugate people just based upon their melanin. But you're absolutely right. Yes, sister.
Rise up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you? Oh, okay. I'll carry on playing the rest of this. But
yeah, play the clip. It's all good.
Right. Okay. Thank you. When you come to our decoded night, the 27th of July. So let's check out the numbers 1932 and swap it around and see if there's any hidden messages that Ryan Coogler wanted us to see. Now, I've done a research on it and I found out in the year 1923, so I changed 3 and 2 around numerology, and in 1923 in Mississippi, there was a mass lynching or execution, and it was called in Moore versus Dempsey. Remember what I said about the lead character? The lead character, sorry, I just paused myself. The lead character, his name is called Samuel Moore. Right? That played by Miles Caton. His name is, go and check it out, people, Samuel Moore. Do you think it's a coincidence now that when we changed the numbers around, that we came up with the Moore versus Dempsey case, which was about some brothers who were lynched and killed in their courts, in that time, in that era, also, as well as you've got Rosewood and Greenwood, but this was happening regular. Terms like the picnic, lynching of Black men. When we used to say that I'm going to the park for a picnic, well, the word picnic came from lynching, pick and nick an object from a Black man. Mostly the organs of the man, the toe of the man, and literally they'll take pictures like it was some form of celebration, which it was for them. So in changing the numbers around, I came up with this in the research. I do sincerely believe Mr. Ryan Coogler and his beautiful wife, by the way, because his wife is responsible for the production of the movie Sinners, they're really trying to educate us through hieroglyphs. Yeah, okay, I'll carry on. Yeah, hold on to those numbers and those names. Oh, now, what's the name of the main character? Samuel Moore. That's right. Not a coincidence. Elias Moore. Okay. And so Elias Moore and Elijah Moore. We're going to go into why Ryan Coogler named the 2 twins. This is just the smoke between Elias. But the 2 twins played by the magnificent actor Michael B. Jordan, One of them was called Elias. The other one was called Elijah. More. Again, so the word Elijah, for those of us who are familiar with biblical scriptures, represents the man that came before the Messiah. I'm not going to unpack that now, but when you come on the 27th of July and you register, then you will get the full details on it. Let me carry on with this video, but it's really brilliant. It's really heavy. All right, let's carry on.
Smoke more.
Right.
Yeah, the two characters that were in the film. By the way, Moor is a connection to the Moors of Europe.
That's right.
Hence, why this man was carrying a guitar. The guitars came via the Moors.
Okay, so let me just pause right there. He's got markings on his face. Now, those markings, a lot of people thought, oh, he sold to the devil. We're going to break down Hollywood as to why these movies like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, Rosemary's Baby, Exorcist, what was the very essence of those films? The essence of those films was that it was the fear of something dark. Now, stay with me, everyone. Did you know Hollywood's first feature-length horror movie came out in the year 1923? There's that number again. And the name of the film that came out in 1923, was called White Zombie. Now, White Zombie was based in an island in the Caribbean called, come on, tell me what it is. Haiti. So zombies were based off the fear of Haiti and the voodoo, and the root work that we were doing there. So they made horror films to say the real boogeyman, the enemy, are these this dark black figure. Hence why you have movies like The Mummy, where they monstrify, if you will, the ancestors of Kemet. But make you and I, the viewer and the audience, believe that we're watching a duppy or some kind of boogeyman. So it's all a part of the brainwashing. Now, to de-brainwash, we have to decode, hence sinners, we have to decode the fact that they've demonized melanated people through film. That's what Sinners is doing. It decodes it. Now, when you even watch, what's the typical thing in the horror films? One of the typical things in horror films is that you can't kill the duppy. You can't kill Freddy Krueger. You can't kill Jason, Michael. You can't kill these enemies that seem to come. Now, here's something about horror films. We got to check this out. The number 1 victim in the horror film is who?
Oh, if there's a black person in there, it would be the black person.
But the
always
number
die
1
first.
victim, think about it, victim, hello, somebody help. It's always a Caucasian woman. Always. Because society has to protect the Caucasian woman, because without the Caucasian woman, there is no continuance of the Caucasian race. So you have to have a demon that wants to get the white woman, wants the babies with the white woman. And who's the demon? It's this black figure. Candyman, black
King Kong was telling that same story as
Just
well.
gonna go there. Just gonna go there. King Kong. Yeah. King Kong. Kong coming from the word Congo.
Yes.
Yeah. King Leopard, 1865, brothers and sisters. So again, they project their fear into film. So when you watch films like even Jurassic Park, they talk about giants from the ancient world. They're not talking about damn lizards. They're talking about your ancient world that predates this civilization, but it's symbolic and hieroglyphs. So you sit there eating popcorn, drinking Coca-Cola, thinking, oh, that's a good dinosaur movie. They're talking about you. They know more about you and our history more than we know about our own.
Yep. They've got all the documents and the answers.
Hence why we have to have a decoded night, family.
Yes.
We don't know what we're watching. So again,
that's brilliant. People won't be watching films and movies the same again after that session, from the sounds of it. And what was that other movie with all the green people that were in this idyllic, kind of environment, and they went there in their spaceships and absolutely.
Not Avatar.
Avatar.
People, the Na'vi people. Well, funny enough, you say that. We're actually going to use clips of Avatar on the night of decoding.
Oh, what a movie that
Avatar
was.
is the tree.
Yeah, the tree of life.
And in Gambia, West Africa, you got a place called lemon-lodge,
Yes.
have internet trees where they literally commune with each other. Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Yep,
So
yes, they do.
even to
Yes.
the Christian family, you read and hear stories about the tree of knowledge in the book of Genesis. It's not literally talking about trees, it's hieroglyphs, it's talking about people. See, and that's why in Black Panther, again, created by Ryan Coogler, in terms of the film created by Ryan Coogler, there's that ancestral tree. So there's a relationship with the tree in Sinners, the tree in Avatar, and the tree in Black Panther. There's a common theme that we must pay heed to. Come on the night, and we'll decode it for you.
Yeah, thank you.
But
Woo!
lastly, sister, on the horror films, the movie Poltergeist was based on a young white girl who has been haunted by the spirit in a tree. Also, another horror movie called The Evil Dead. I love horror movies. It was about a tree. Again, see, there's always a common theme where they demonize African spirituality with trees, family.
Yeah, yeah. And just to interject and say that this demonization of the black man obviously goes back hundreds of years here in Britain. There was a fear that the white people had of the black man, so much so it's written that when children saw their shadow, they would cry and think that it's a black man coming to get them. You see, and all of this fear was there hundreds of years ago because they know the wicked that they've done, you see. And so, yes, psychologically, they are being tormented and were being tormented by, the knowledge of what they had done to the black man and the black woman. Hence the fear that they had back then and that they still have today. And you're going to be bringing that out in your movie. It sounds amazing. Listen, stay with us, and if you want, you can jump on later on in the show and rejoin us. But before you go behind the scenes again, let me just see if we've got any messages in the house and just greet some more of our family members. So Rise Up Kwame, he's rising up myself, the rest of the family, including Brother Errol. Thank you, Brother Kwame. And he says, don't give in to the beast. They can shake us, but never break us. For real. High five, Brother Kwame. Tuka Pramoja saying sabotage, but they can't stop the progression. I think that's about the internet challenges that I consistently and persistently have when I go live. Is the Bill Gates behind this? I wonder. I mean, they've taken down so many of my videos, those great videos where we used to have those meaningful conversations about them people then. They're removing history as they do, erasing history, rewriting history as they do, but they're doing it in real time as well. So rise up, General Mosquito. Don't think I've seen you in the house before saying, no, not gallery, Afiwi, galaxy, Afiwi. The only brainwashing station. And we say Afiwi, and I'm not for them. A little bit of patois there for those who understand. Lumkwekwa, good to have you in the house, listening from Portland in Jamaica. Wow, I wish I was there myself right now. Rise up yourself, and to everybody from listening from Jam Down. Great to have you in the house. Madasi Pa, General Mosquito is saying, Madasi Pa, thank you. Yeah. Rising up, Pan-African spirituality teaches our realities from our ancestors, indeed. Rise up, Sis Fee in the house. Yeah, the women victim. Oh, it's the white women victim, not the black women victim. They're indoctrinating everybody to see the white woman as the woman to be saved. So if she's ever in a problem or experiencing a dilemma, black man, black woman, everybody's supposed to run to her rescue. That's what they're programming everybody to do through these films as well. Rise up, DD. Good evening to you and family. I saw this movie and knew straight away there was an underlying theory. Yeah, so you'll be up on this, won't you, if you join the breakdown. Okay, let everybody know how they can get tickets, please, to join your breakdown, and also join us over on YouTube and post the link in the YouTube chat as well, please. So if people wanted to go and watch this breakdown that you're doing, Brother Courtney, how can they do that?
Right. Oh, so if I may, I will share screen just to show how we can all do that. So what we would all do is you would, I'm going to copy a link, sis, and I'll give it to you so we can get it to our your followers. But you would, once you register, you will come to this page. But then there's also a scanning code that you can use where you can scan the QR code. But it will be better to get the link because I know a lot of us are not hip to
Really?
you don't want to do that scanning business. So I understand that still. Let me send it to you.
Yeah, do me a favor. Just go over to YouTube Live. Go over to my YouTube channel, YouTube Live, and just post it in the link. And you can post it a couple of times as well. It's easier for me if I can just send you that link, Brother Courtney, because I'm multitasking here behind the scenes.
Sorry.
Okay.
YouTube channel. I'll just type that right into go live on the YouTube channel, or I could.
Yeah, just go over to the Sista Shanice Show YouTube channel. If you're on your computer right now, you can just open up just open up a tab, go to the Sista Shanice Show live on YouTube. Make sure you put it on mute so that you know it doesn't get
feedback.
We don't get that interference coming back. Okay, so family, do you have any questions, any messages for Brother Courtney? He's going to be with us just for a little while. Rise up, Brother Errol in the house. Pick up the Sista Shanice Show, he's saying. And yes, our brother H. Ford as well. Rise up, rise up. Good to have you in the house. Mommy's saying, yeah, Ashe, Sista Shanice. Barbie sees herself as the only victim, more so than our beautiful lionesses. For real. You know, we did our suffer. We could have dropped down our road. Everybody just walk past, but make a white woman drop down our road. Everybody run for the helper, isn't it? Because that's the conditioning that's everybody's experiencing right now. So rise up for that. Also, just want to remind you, family, that we are working on the petition behind the scenes. We've got a final draft now. This is the petition in support of the Maasai people who are being evicted off of their land, okay? It's a really awful situation that they are experiencing, and the Prime Minister of Tanzania is behind it and working in cahoots with her Arab friends from the UAE, and is depriving the Maasai people of over 1,500 square kilometers of African land. And this is serious, not just for Tanzania and the Maasai people, but for the entire East African region. Because if they hand over, you know, a city, a piece of land, the size of the city of London, that is currently home to about 9 million, what am I talking about? 9 million people. That's the size of the land that they're planning on handing over. You know, imagine what could be happening there, family, on African soil. Why do our people not learn from the past? The show that I'm going to be doing today is very much about the importance for us to learn from history and learn from the past. And what we've just been hearing from Brother Courtney as well, that film Sinners, when he decodes it and breaks it down, he's going to be also pointing out the direct links between present and past. And it goes back into ancient past as well, just like my book goes into ancient past. Rise up, Sister Verna Duncan. Good to have you in the house. Brilliant. Kofi Jojo, great to have you in the house as well. You're just in time. We're going to start my presentation very soon. So just assuring everybody that we're working on the petition. The petition's done. Just trying to get it signed off by the organization that I am so grateful has agreed to take it forward on our behalf. But obviously they have their protocols, and it's got to go through their management and their approval process. So that's happening right now. A press release has also been drafted. So again, we're grateful to GAC UK and their team for supporting the works there. Fingers crossed, by next strong, that petition will be ready and we'll be able to launch that petition here on the Sista Shanice show, and everyone will sign that petition, and please share it for us. You were the ones who said that we needed to do this petition. You were the ones who said that you would support it after we did the show exposing what was going on in Tanzania. We've also been focusing and shining the spotlight on Kenya. You know, there's been mass mobilization that's been happening across Kenya, calling for Ruto to step down, campaigning against the finance bill, campaigning against the atrocities and the murders that has been carried out by the Kenyan police force. Now they've even got a force that's not in uniform, that's going around in vehicles, jumping out the vehicles and firing, you know, firing what are they, A45s or whatever you call them, these guns that just rattle off into crowds of people, you know, killing their own citizens.
AR-15.
Sorry, what was it?
The AR-15 rifles.
Thank you so much. You know, going around on firing live ammunition into the bodies of their citizens, you know, and so we've got to condemn all of this. They were just, you know, they were planning on protesting or coming out and having a memorial called Saba Saba to remember the atrocities that happened on that same day a couple of days ago. And, you know, the police locked that down. It's the brutality that's being meted out by the Kenyan police force against their own people is very concerning, extremely concerning. So we've been highlighting that as well. And we will continue to highlight and expose the atrocities that our people experience wherever they may be in the world. Okay, I mentioned the book also just to let you know that I was doing some interesting reading yesterday. I was reading about the Phoenicians in Britain. As you know, the Phoenicians are a group of Africans, and they were incredibly knowledgeable about the sea. They go back from ancient times, and they understood astronomy, navigation, shipbuilding. And so they were the traders who used to trade up and down the waters during ancient times. And as they went, they built cities, over 300 cities, it said, that the Phoenicians actually built across the Mediterranean. And they sailed from Egypt, North African region, across the Mediterranean, and they reached as far as Britain and beyond. And so I was reading about some of their adventures, and it's just so incredibly interesting and exciting. I will be at some point, you know, doing a seminar on that as well to share the knowledge. And also just to mention that I'm writing another academic paper. Those of you who have been with me a little while, you will know that I wrote an academic paper that caused quite a bit of a stir in the academic world, because, you know, the paper was proving that the original people of Ireland were Black, and that in the history books, in the Asian books, when they talk about the Black Irish, they're not talking about white people, black hair and black eyes, as they've been trying to claim. No, they were talking about us as Black people. And I did that paper, and that was submitted to Education EDU, and you can get a copy of that from there free of charge. There's another paper that I'm working on that's coming, and in this paper I'm going to be making a direct link between Egypt, Spain and Ireland. So putting that in the academic world, because, you know, in order to do so, you know, you need to have all of your sources and your links there to prove your argument. So that is going to be going in there quite soon. And when it does, you'll be able to get your copy. Okay. All right. My computer, as it does, spins really slowly when I'm on. So I'll have to abandon what I was going to be doing there. And instead, let me just share the link from my phone for our brother Courtney. Courtney, did you manage to find me live on YouTube?
Yes, sister, I did.
Oh, good. And you posted the link, have you?
I posted a link, and I just want to say to anyone that if you can't get the link, then you can email us at powerofconsent@gmail.com. Excuse me, that's the powerofconsent@gmail.com, where we hold book club spaces. And if you are challenging things like council tax, parking notices, the vampires, if you want to get any real knowledge, constitutional, lawful knowledge on how to challenge the police, especially our young people during the summertime, they will be targeted as they are. And yeah, you can come over to our channel, and you can email us as well, I should say, at thepowerofconsent@gmail.com.
Brilliant. Okay, and do post that in the chat as well, okay? And parents, if you've got young people who are going to be out on the street in the summer, please, please, please do make sure that you get that email link, okay? We don't want our young people being out on the street, being harassed by police and not knowing their rights. All right, thank you so much for that, Brother Courtney.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. For those that you are buying tickets, if you buy 3 tickets, you'll get 1 for free. So if you buy 3 tickets, or there's 3 people you know, you will get 1 for free, and it's only £8.30 or sterling. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Sounds good. Well done to you, and you know, thanks for the great works, and keep up the works. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, beloved.
You're welcome. So please do join our brother. I will be there taking in some of that learning as well. Just gonna make sure I've got the right screen here, and let's go into the right mode so that I can view this. That's a slideshow mode. Okay, I'm just going to get the presentation ready. I'm ready to go into today's discussion with you, our family. So let's get the right proportion of the screen showing. And everything takes a little while on my computer because, you know, it just likes to go really slow. Sorry about that. Okay, but what you can see at the moment, albeit, you know, okay, here we go. What you can see is a copy of the front cover of my book, Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, an erased African history restored. Do get your copy. It's available now on Amazon, or you can get your copy directly from myself, and you can get a signed copy for your household. And, you know, maybe get a copy as a gift, or get a copy for a birthday present, or, you know, to share the knowledge. Read it, use it to do some workshops and some classes, you know, yeah. Make use of it. It's there for you. Okay, going over to today's discussion. So on the show today, we're going to be discussing the interrelationship between politics, drugs, race, and the criminal injustice system. Okay, and I'll be touching on our recent past in relation to drugs and politics, because it's so important, as we've already been discussing, that we learn from our history. Some of you may already be aware, some of you may not be aware, but there are several deadly drugs on the market right now, family, that's been targeted at our communities, and in particular at our young people. And these deadly drugs are actually sweeping through Sierra Leone, they're sweeping through Ghana, sweeping through Gambia, you know, and it's like a silent plague. There's also, I'm going to go into each of the individual drugs that are sweeping through the different parts of the continent. And the wickedest thing is that these drugs are cheap, easy to access, highly addictive, and are more potent than even fentanyl. And it's leaving a trail of destruction behind. These drugs are so lethal, family, they're actually eating away at people's flesh. This particular drug that's called Kush eats away at people's flesh, disfigures them, and there have been people who've had to have amputations because of it. Yeah, and this is serious. So it's a growing epidemic in our community, right? And it's growing in the USA, it's growing in the UK, and these drugs have now reached Africa as well. And in my view, it's really reminiscent of the crack cocaine epidemic of the 1980s in the USA, in the Black communities there. And that crack cocaine epidemic had devastating, long-lasting consequences for our community. And if you remember, that crack cocaine epidemic actually happened at a time when the Black Panther and the Black consciousness movement was rising amongst our young people. We need to see the pattern, okay? This is what even the decoding film is going to be about, seeing the pattern. You've got your earphones, Errol. Use them, please, dear. Right, so the NAACP Criminal Justice Fact Sheet, okay, wow. They have been monitoring for some time all of the inequalities that are impacting on America's Black community. And you're going to see from these statistics that the so-called war on drugs, as it was then, yeah, and as it is now, is a manufactured crisis that's targeted at the Black community. Now, there was a study that was done in Milwaukee County, and what they found was that more than half the African-American men in their 30s in Milwaukee County had done time in prison. You hear that? More than 50% of the men in their 30s in Milwaukee County had done prison time. You know, not just been convicted of something, but had done prison time. Yeah, and that is serious. And so what that is suggesting is that there has been some direct targeting that's been going on. And this NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People, an organization that's been around since the 20s, actually, 1920s. They've provided some statistics. And in 2015, they also looked at the National Survey on Drug Use and Health. And what they expose there is that until this day, there are racial injustices that they say is actually embedded within America's so-called war on drugs, a campaign that, when examined through the lens of the CIA Contra crack cocaine controversy, actually reveals very disturbing patterns of systemic oppression and targeting of our community. And despite African Americans comprising of only 5% of the illicit drug users, they make up 29%, almost a third of those arrested and over a third of those incarcerated for drug offenses. Wow. And so this massive disparity, they claim, cannot be explained by drug user rates, yeah, because it shows in the national survey that there are 17 million white people and 4 million African Americans that are admitted to drug use that were admitted to drug use in the past month. And it can't be about past month, but that's what it says here. Hold on a second. I'll have to double check that. But there's a major disparity between the number of whites and the number of Black Americans that had been admitted into drug use facilities or had admitted to taking drugs. And these numbers, they say, clearly demonstrate that white drug users at a similar or higher rate are less likely to be imprisoned, but Black Americans were nearly 6 times more likely to be imprisoned for drug offenses. So this is still, you know, very much the extent of the disparities that exist around drugs. So any issue to do with drugs in our community is very, very concerning and important indeed, because it's racialized, the outcomes are racialized, And it's not a coincidence why there is this major disparity. Yeah. What they also we also need to be aware of is the roots of this institutional bias, and it goes back to the days of the Black Panther movement. I'm sure if we look further back, we can see that even prior to the crack cocaine and the Black Panther movement, they were flooding our communities with heroin. Yeah, so there has been a war against our community and drugs being used as a weapon or weaponized against our community for some time. And there were drug traffickers who were part of this CIA Contra crack cocaine scandal. Some of you may be familiar with the name, Blandon and Menezes, and they were reportedly linked to the CIA. And apparently these two individuals funneled tons, not pounds, tons of cocaine into central Los Angeles. And it was also sold primarily to the Black community. These drugs that these individuals were working, it's claimed, with the CIA, yeah, were actually targeting the Black community, and it devastated the urban neighborhoods. Yeah, this crack cocaine, as some of you, I mean, they even put it in movies. Another movie to break down. You know, it's like they glamorized it in movies. But, you know, they were actually converting this cocaine into crack cocaine, selling it cheap in Black neighborhoods. And this drug was so addictive that it devastated entire communities, devastated families, devastated people's future, the future of a generation. And of course, there was a government failure to actually stop the operation that lasted well over 16 years before these guys were eventually arrested and taken down. And so anything to do with, you know, manufactured drugs reaching our communities needs to be seen as a weapon against our community. And there ought to be aggressive laws to address it. That may not happen in countries like the UK and the USA, because obviously, you know, the investigation into the crack cocaine incident suggests that, you know, there was the CIA involvement in that. It's not me saying it. This is what the reports are actually showing. And so, you know, we can see from that there isn't likely to be the enforcement response when it comes to capturing those that are peddling the tons of the drug. But when it comes to, you know, criminalizing the individuals on the street who are the users, these are the ones who are filling the prisons. And therein lies the pattern of systemic racism structured within their organizations against our communities. Policies, you know, like the war on drugs really is a war against our community. Yeah, criminalizing the image of the Black man, arresting and stopping and searching a Black man because, you know, their publicity has indoctrinated everyone to think that, you know, every Black man is a drug user and a drug abuser. And then that gives them the justification to harass our men, you know, and then that harassment leads to convictions, and then those convictions lead to mass incarceration of our men. We've seen it in America, we've seen it in the UK. It's impacted generations after generations of Black people in those countries, and it's taken away the economic opportunities, it's taken away lives, it's ruined families, it's caused psychological trauma, mental health, and the list of problems actually go on. So when they talk about the war on drugs, family, this has got to be seen as a campaign to some extent against our communities, and the need, therefore, for us to be very mindful and very concerned about any drugs that's being pushed into our communities and the way that it's being portrayed as well, because what we will see coming afterwards is this enforcement and criminality of our people. So even, you know, the data that's been produced there by the NAACP, what that actually confirms still is what we know as a community, because it's our lived experiences. The criminal justice system is not colorblind. It's actually targeting our young men, and there is a major disparity in drug arrests, major disparity in the sentencing, and you know, this represents a gross miscarriage of justice. You know, I'm going to be saying a bit more about the miscarriage of justice in a little while. So you know, and I'll come back to my thoughts on this in a little while. But the United States DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, they're actually issuing warnings to their American public of a sharp increase in trafficking in fentanyl mixed with xylazine. And this xylazine is also known as tranq, because it's a tranquilizer that's used in the veterinarian industry, you know, to put down large animals and knock them out. Yeah, so this drug can knock out an elephant, but then these drugs are on the streets in America. And, you know, sometimes we do see these drugs in their own American, sometimes white communities before they reach our communities. What's going on there? Like they're testing it out on their people to see the effects of it before, you know, they bombard us with it. What's going on there? Anyway, the US are actually warning their people, so we need to be warning our people as well, family, because it is serious. Yeah, there's been a very worrying sharp increase in the trafficking of fentanyl mixed with xylazine, commonly known as tranq, and it's a very dangerous and disturbing evolution, and it's worse than any of the drugs that have hit our streets so far. And this xylazine is, as I said, a powerful veterinarian sedative, and it's not supposed to be used on humans at all. Yeah, so it's hardly surprising, you know, the deadly impact of this drug. And it is 50 times more potent than heroin. 50 times more potent than heroin. When mixed with xylazine, this fentanyl is 50 times more potent than heroin. Oh my gosh. And every parent in the house needs to warn their children not to try these drugs. I mean, how many of us, when we were growing up, you know, knew friends who would try some of these drugs, you know? But if they dabbled with it just 1 or 2 times, it wasn't so much as a problem. But these drugs, our young people can't afford to even dabble in it. You know why? Because it is highly, highly addictive. And the risk of fatality from overdoses on this is dramatic. So, you know, what happens is that when you take these drugs, it slows down your breathing, it slows down your heart rate, often beyond recovery. Wow, serious things, family. And it's worsening, according to the DEA. They've reported that tranq-laced fentanyl is spreading rapidly, particularly in cities like Philadelphia, New York, and Los Angeles again, or Los Angeles, and increasingly across rural America. It's a synthetic blend, and it's driving up overdose deaths, making a devastating crisis even harder to combat. In terms of the severe physical harm, This xylazine is known to cause horrific skin ulcers and tissue necrosis, sometimes leading to amputation. And users can even develop open wounds that do not heal. Now, if you're in America, you know, you can be admitted into hospital and, you know, you can safely have a leg amputated if need be. You can get treated. But in Africa, you know, if you get these kinds of open wounds, it's not in all African countries, in all regions, that you would be able to get the help that you need. Yeah. And this is the drug that they're even calling the zombie drug. I'm sure you've seen some of those images. And there is a lack of regulation, a lack of detection, they're saying, and the impact that it's having on our communities, it's an epidemic already that's disproportionately impacting our community. And it's always, always the case. And we need to be warning our people about this drug. This drug, it's concerning, it should be concerning to all of our organizations, to parents, you know, anybody who's got any young people out there need to be concerned about this drug and the rise of it. Yeah, so it's a public health emergency in the USA. We need to make it a public health emergency in our communities as well. Yeah, and it requires us to take the action that's needed to ensure that our young people and our community is aware of the increased harm of this particular drug. You know, I need our reggae artists, I need our poets, I need our people to be writing about, singing about, and talking about this drug. It's an urgent, urgent call for action that's needed, because this drug actually threatens, yeah, our entire next generation. That's how bad it is. You've probably seen some of the pictures in some of the newspapers. These are in the areas of the America, where they have their trailer people, the ones they call, you know, the white trash, you know, ones that they don't really care very much about. And according to the USA, it's making the deadliest, it is the deadliest drug that's threatening the country, the deadliest one that they've ever faced. Wow. And it's spread already to 50 states in the US. Serious, serious, family. And they're mixing it. As I said, they're mixing the xylazine with the fentanyl, and this mixture is making it 50 times more potent. And obviously it's a lot more, not just a lot more, sorry about that. And not only is it more potent as a drug, but it's also more fatal because it's poisons. Yeah, the xylazine it's meant for animals. So, you know, it's a very serious drug, and experts are always saying that, you know, it's potentially fatal, right? Because people suffer poisoning from it, and this drug mixture is just developing these severe wounds, and it's rotting the flesh of humans, and it's leading to amputations. That's how bad it is, family. Here's an image of someone who's had their leg amputated, and according to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, 107,735 Americans died between August 21 and August 22 within a 1-year period from drug poisoning, with 66% of those deaths involving synthetic opioids like fentanyl. Serious. 107,735. It's not broken down by race, but what a team. So why should we be concerned, some of you might say, about what's happening in America? I'm in Africa. This doesn't concern us in Africa, does it? I've got news for you, family. Yes, it does. It does concern us in Africa. I actually came across a documentary by 3 News, and basically they delivered a powerful investigative piece of research that exposes the alarming rise in the scale of the abuse out there in Ghana that's called the red pill. It's literally a red pill. It's a banned opioid, and this red pill is wreaking havoc across communities in Ghana. So they've actually put the poisons together in a pill, a red pill. And, you know, despite the fact that, you know, it's illegal, they're saying that the drug remains easy, shockingly easy to access, even in the most remote areas. And so, you know, we know, and we've seen what happens in America. We saw what happened with the crack cocaine epidemic. We're seeing what's happening with the Kush epidemic. Now we have a situation where they have a red pill drug in Ghana, and it's wreaking havoc already on the lives of young people and the communities out there. Wow. So this lethal drug spreading across Ghana in the form of a red pill. And, you know, as I said, this documentary was exposing the rise of it. And they were sending out a chilling alarm. And that should remind all of us, that alarm should remind all of us of the trajectory of the crack cocaine in the United States. We know what happened there. We know about the history, yeah? Soaked with destruction, criminalization, the systemic breakdown of the Black family, you know, the breakdown of Black communities, the breakdown of Black economic opportunities and empowerment. You know, it devastated our community. So when we have these sorts of drugs reaching our young people in places like Ghana, we have got to be very, very concerned about it, family, because it's just going to rob our young people of their future. Wow. There was this team that was doing the investigation in Ghana, went to a place called Goma Goma Circle in Accra. And this is the region, apparently, that was named after Kwame Nkrumah. And if you ever see what's happening under those railway, those flyover bridges, it's like underground tunnels, but they're just bridges. And there are so many young people who are there taking drugs. And as I said, it's like it's a violation of Kwame Nkrumah, sorry, I spelled his name wrong there, and what he stood for. There's the pill that's devastating Ghana. Just to mention that, you know, their Ministry of Youth Empowerment in Ghana, the Ministry for Youth Empowerment and Development, they're trying to intervene, but they need to be adequately resourced, because they are already, by the look of the scale at which it's hitting various cities in Ghana, this ministry is going to be stretched. And so they need to be adequately resourced, and they need to get on top of it before it takes a grip in the country. Here in the next slide is the image of how some people are living underneath that flyover. In the documentary, there were testimonies from people like Kofi, who said he's a hardworking man, and he actually heard that the drug could help him to work harder, not knowing that it was addictive. Now he's addicted to the drug, and it's taken over his life. There was another that testified to say that, you know, they heard that this drug could help, you know, improve their sexual performance, you know, so he took it so that he could please his wife more. Now it's wrecked his life, and he's had to leave his wife and his children because all of his money now goes on the drug, because it's so addictive. Instead of providing for his children, he goes and spends the money on the drugs, you know, and many of these drug users now end up sleeping on the streets. I'm going to play you a clip in a little while, and you're going to be hearing from the health professionals. You're going to be hearing, you know, about the problems that they say that the drug causes to people, such as respiratory failure, heart failure, hypertension, nausea, hallucinations, mental breakdown, and even death. And the worst thing about this drug, as I keep repeating, is it is addictive. Don't even try it. It's addictive. It will get you. Yeah. And so that was Ghana. Now we go over to Sierra Leone, and they've got the Kush, you know, the dopey one, in Sierra Leone. So you've got people who are just passing out like zombies. Yeah. And they're saying that this is happening, and an alarm, the growth of this drug is deeply alarming. Yeah, so there's a drug name of Kush. It's apparently wreaking havoc across Sierra Leone, particularly among the young people. It is also highly addictive, extremely cheap for them to access. This particular drug, now it's not like the red pill. This one looks a bit like marijuana in its appearance, but its effects is far, far more devastating. It's reported that this Kush could be up to 25 times more potent than fentanyl. And fentanyl is already one of the world's most lethal opioids. And so, you know, imagine what that's doing to people. It's hardly surprising then that they're looking like zombies, crashing out, mashing up themselves when they fall to the ground, because most of the time they're barely conscious. It's, you know, and it's like they're just out of their head, and it's causing severe mental and physical deterioration of our young people. It's not only psychological, it's incapacitating, and it's also linked to the flesh-eating symptoms. And this drug as well disfigures young people. It has debilitating diseases that it's linked to, and ultimately it's leading to a lot of deaths in Sierra Leone as well. You know, we cannot afford for this to get a grip and to take hold of our young people. And the sad reality is that despite the lethal consequences of Kush, it continues to be spread at an alarming rate. And the government there is saying also at an alarming speed. And the addicts, once they start taking the drug, that's it. They're addicted, and they are trapped in a vicious cycle that they're unable to escape from. It's a powerful, powerful drug that grips our people. We've got to warn our young people. We've got to warn our young people in Ghana against the red pill. We've got to warn our young people in Sierra Leone against the Kush drug. We've got to warn our young people before, you know, there's a free fall of the next generation of young people, and we lose their potential. They lose themselves, you know, as the crack epidemic did in America to the lives of so many of our young people. Wow, this drug will just reduce them to a shadow of who they are, a shadow of their potential. It will get them addicted, and it will take their life. And what a wasted life that would be. Every single one of us has been sent here on this planet with a purpose and with gifts and with talents. And the worst thing that could happen, and I say that in my book. Let me actually read it from my book, what I say about that. Oh, I haven't got my glasses here. Let me see. Yeah. So I say in my book that you are a microcosm of God himself or herself. And you have been created by the macrocosm to manifest in the microcosm what the macrocosm has created in you as a vessel to do. So you are created by the Creator to create and to manifest greatness. And to not manifest your greatness is the greatest crime of life itself, because it would be as if you never lived. You hear that, family? If you come to this planet and you don't manifest in the microcosm what the macrocosm has sent you here to manifest, it will be as though you never lived. And you don't want to come here and don't live. So we need to warn our young people of the lethal consequences of these drugs. Yeah, these skin-eating lethal drugs, and keep them off of it. And family, you know the worst part? I came across this Sky News report that was talking about the Kush drug and how it's devastating lives across West Africa. And in this Sky News investigative report, it actually revealed that the United Kingdom is believed to be one of the main sources of the Kush shipments, along with countries in the European Union and South America. Wow. They said that this suggests a transnational drug trafficking network that is feeding Sierra Leone's growing crisis while destroying families, eroding communities, and threatening the stability of the entire region. That's what it said in this Sky News report. It said that the United Kingdom is believed to be one of the main sources of the Kush shipments. I'm going to play that clip for you, I think, in a little while, a little bit of it. And here they are in this video that I might play a little clip of. And they were saying in this video that when it comes to shipments coming in from the UK, they have to check them thoroughly for Kush equipment. And in this shipment, they actually found the drug Kush, and it was coming in from the UK. Wow. Family, we can't get mixed up in this, and we cannot allow our family members to get mixed up in trafficking this either, or selling it to our people, irrespective of, you know, how lucrative they try and make the idea of selling drugs to be. Because as I said, they were even glamorizing it in the 80s in films like Boys in the Hood. And they even glamorized how it was destroying families, how it was making people addicted to their drugs, how it was just ruining communities, entire regions, and they were glorifying it. Wow, wow, wow. And it's even reached parts of Gambia as well. And in this clip, we have one of the Gambian ministers who was saying that they are adopting a zero tolerance approach to the Kush drug. And they actually showed the police on the streets in the Gambia, you know, running down someone who they believe to be pushing the drug, and, you know, searching them for the drugs. And so we've got Kush in the Gambia, Kush in Sierra Leone, we've got this red pill in Ghana. What's going on? What's going on, family? Okay, we need to warn our young people. We need to warn these African nations. They must all adopt a zero tolerance, because if this Kush or this red pill takes a grip across West Africa, it's going to be catastrophic for the region, totally catastrophic, because we all know that when people get addicted to these drugs, they will do anything to get the drug, anything. Prostitution, robbery, criminal acts, you know, and these African countries will not be able to cope. So they absolutely must nip it in the bud. Okay, we know that back in the 80s, when crack cocaine was an epidemic, that it was devastating our communities, and many of our young men ended up behind bars. It devastated places like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, devastated families, you know, and we cannot allow this to happen again. And we're still suffering. Our men are still suffering from the media stigmatization of drugs. Yeah, the extent to which they use the crack cocaine to criminalize our young men, that we are still seeing and experiencing the effects of it today. Yeah, and this is at a time when their white people were taking the cocaine as white powder, and it was seen as a social drug. But when it came to crack cocaine in the Black community, it was highly criminalized. But as I said, it wasn't as lethal as it was nowhere near as lethal as these drugs are today. And so we have to alert our people about it and make sure that it doesn't take a grip. Because right now, you know, if we remember the crack cocaine epidemic in America, we can see that Ghana, the whole of West Africa is looking down, you know, the barrel of a future that could be devastating, totally devastating. And we don't want that to happen, okay? We don't want to lose the lives of our young people. You know, we have to protect them and adopt a zero tolerance when it comes to these drugs. You know, I know it's difficult out there for our young people, and some of them might want a drug, you know, so that they can just escape whatever it is they're going through. But, you know, marijuana doesn't have this sort of effect. They must, you know, take a little puff of that there, you know. You can't puff it because I remember when me was young and me try it, when we take a couple of puffs, my head starts spinning. I thought I was walking on the moon. I thought, no, this ain't for me, mate. I keep my 2 feet on the ground. So much less one of these. Okay, we've got to make sure that our young people escape, you know, this new weapon of mass destruction that has been, you know, that is sweeping across the West African region and our communities. Because if we don't get on top of it, if this is left unchecked, the consequences is going to be too devastating for West Africa, too devastating for our communities, and an entire generation of young people is going to be lost to addiction. And we know why this is all happening, okay? As I said, there's echoes and parallels to what happened in America. And I can't remember which African country it was, but I know that Rwanda was being asked at one time to build a big prison. And I think they went to Togo with the idea of building a big prison. And in America, these prisons are legalized slave plantations where the big corporate private organizations get the prisoners to work for them for like 1 pence an hour or something ridiculous like that. Legalized slavery. And so let's not allow them to be building prisons on the continent of Africa so that they can incarcerate our young men and women in large numbers and take away their livelihoods so they can use them for legalizing slave labor. Let's not allow that to happen. If anything, let them build the rehabilitation centers, let them build the hospitals so they can take care of these young people who are sadly, you know, were too weak to resist the temptation of the drugs. Let's realize that we're the ones who need to keep on top of this and learn the lessons of the past to make sure that it doesn't impact Africa and our communities again in the way that it did in the 80s. And so why, are they wanting, to flood West Africa with drugs or other parts of Africa? Our young people are the majority population on the continent of Africa, and therefore, probably in the world, and they're rising up. They are demanding a better quality of life. They want to be able to have a life that they can enjoy. They want their government to be doing the right thing, to be providing services for them. They're rising up all across Africa, and the authorities outside of Africa are worried. Yeah, those extremists are worried about the rise of our young people. So what better way to deal with the problem than to put them to sleep using the drugs? Remember, the crack cocaine was linked to the CIA, and they were allowing tons of it to reach into the hands of the Crips and the Bloods on the streets of Los Angeles. And this fueled drug wars, death, and mayhem for our community. Yes, the US Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, according to the Mercury News, was implicated in allowing, tons of cocaine to reach into the hands of gangs in Los Angeles and in various parts of America. And the profits that they were getting from these drugs, was our money, was being used to fuel a war in Nicaragua. Our families who were hooked on drugs, their money was being used to fuel a war in Nicaragua. Guerrilla warfare style, by the arms and the ammunition. And the CIA, it's claimed, the US Central Intelligence Agency, was wrapped up in it. Serious things. So let's not underestimate, or let's be aware of what we can learn from our past when it comes to drugs reaching our communities. Okay, these drugs bring in huge profits for the ones at the top, and the ones at the top tend to be the ones who never get arrested. We know how dangerous organized Black communities are to the authorities. We know how dangerous organized, conscious young Black people are in Africa. So what do they do? What did they do in the 80s when the Black Power and Black Panther movement was rising? They flooded it with crack cocaine, and then there was an explosion of drug abusers and addicts in our communities. And our neighborhoods were never, ever the same again after that. So we've got to learn from our past. We've got to warn our young people. The US, they're putting out public safety alerts to warn their people. We need to be putting out public safety alarms to alert our young people about the threats that come from using these drugs. Okay, we family are the ones who are going to have to warn our young people globally. We've got to talk to our children. If you can get in the schools and talk to young people in the schools and to warn them, please do. We've got to prevent these awful, terrible, lethal drugs from getting into our communities. The kush, the red pills, the fentanyl, these drugs are killers. They are dangerous, destructive, harmful drugs that will rob our young people of their future. And we are the ones who are going to have to be there for our young people, family. So this is a call to action. This is a call to action. We need people in Ghana to be aware of what's going on. We need people in Sierra Leone to be aware of what's going on. We need the people in Gambia and all over West Africa and in our inner city communities to be aware of what's going on. We cannot allow these highly toxic, dangerous drugs to take effect and to take up any roots in our communities. We've got to break the cycle, because if we don't break the cycle, if we don't learn from the American experience, then sadly, you know, our beautiful young people's lives are going to be ruined. And instead of them, you know, growing and maturing to be the majestic, purpose-filled young people, you know, hugely talented and dynamic that they have the potential to be, like the young ones in this picture here, if we don't nurture them to stay away, and if we don't warn them to stay away from those drugs and to be aware of the American mistakes, then we're going to be treating these young people as addicts on the streets, where they're going to be sleeping homeless underneath bridges, or we'll be visiting them in the prisons where, you know, the authorities will have them banged up doing jobs for private companies at 1 pence an hour, you know. So let's crack down on the sellers on the street. Let's crack down on the supply chain. Let's encourage and require of our government to do what they can to ban these substances and to adopt a zero tolerance when it comes to it as well. Let's not allow the red pill or the kush or the fentanyl that's mixed with these xylazines, you know, to become a health crisis in our communities. This is a warning, and let's learn from history. These countries need to act swiftly. They need to act now to protect the lives of our generation of young people today on the African continent. Their lives hang in the balance. Crack cocaine was an epidemic that decimated Black America at a time when they could have been rising to build more Black Wall Streets, more Black Greenwoods or Rosewoods. Yeah, this is what could have been happening in those Black communities. But instead, what happened was they became dangerous, toxic communities where people were addicted to crack cocaine. Let's never allow this to happen again in our community. I'm going to show you a clip from, let me just minimize this and that slideshow behind the scenes there. I'm going to show you a clip from a couple of the investigative documentaries that I actually looked at that helped to inform my presentation today, family, so that, you know, you can hear it for yourself. So let me find it. Oh, not that one. That's me. I'm looking at myself there. Let me just have a look over here as well. Oh, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Yes, Carol, beware. Yes, beware. They will use similar tactics, most definitely, you know, targeted at those countries as well. So they most definitely do need to be aware. Yeah, Rise Up Sheriff S in the house as well. Let's see, Kwame says, these demons destroyed as well as massacred, yes, our people and our communities. They did indeed, of Tulsa, Rosewood, and Philadelphia. You know, there are over 100 Black cities in America that were destroyed from the early 1900s or just before and onwards. Over 100 Black cities destroyed. And then they want to turn around and say that we never achieved anything. Let me get this clip. Okay. Just want to play a little bit of a clip for you, family. I'm just going to share the screen again. As you know, it takes like a little moment or two because it's quite slow, but it'll be worth it. I didn't put it in the presentation this time because it was, last time I did it was a bit too small. Okay, let's play this clip. Take a listen to this. Oops, oh, sorry, you're not going to hear it because I forgot I muted YouTube. Hang on, let me unmute YouTube, and hopefully I won't hear myself coming back at me. I shouldn't do because I haven't got it up on the screen. Unmute. There we go. Right. It's a little slow. My machine. Oops. Oh, sorry, you're not going to hear it coming back at me. Hang on, sorry. Let me mute it again. YouTube. And hang on, let me and then find the other one where YouTube. And hopefully I won't hear myself. Come on, you see from when I click it and how long it takes. Because I haven't got it up on the screen. Unmute. There we go. We're coming, family. We're going to get there. Apologies. It's just so slow. My machine. Oh no, look, it's coming back at me. Hang on, sorry. Let me mute it again. And hang on, let me mute again. Unmute YouTube. Right, let me just stop sharing for a second, and let's get rid of the YouTube channel behind the scene. Make sure I get rid of the right one as well. There we go. That's the one up behind the scene that I was using so that I could read your messages. Right, I think I've got rid of them now. Let's try again, and hopefully it'll work this time for you. I just want to play for you a couple of little clips, and you can find these clips for yourself on YouTube. Watch them in your own time so that you know, you can share with them with your family and let them know wagwan in the world of drugs. And the fact that our community, it seems, is being targeted. Oh, yes, okay, hang on. Oh, gosh, I've got to unmute it again. Come on. It didn't just take long on you. Sorry, fam. I've got to unmute. So this one's called Teens Unable to Walk, Mothers with Rash-Covered Babies, How Push is Ruining Lives. That's the name of it. That's the title of this video. You can get it on YouTube, and it will tell you more about what's happening in our community, okay? Let's just take that back a little bit. And again, apologies for the spinning. There we go.
This container has come from a high-risk import country to Freetown's port. Shipments from the UK, EU, and South America need to be searched for Kush ingredients.
Okay, I'm going to try that again because
And this one,
it's jumping a little bit. And so, and I want you to hear what it's saying. Go back a little bit. So it's not me saying where it's coming from. Take a listen at where they say these drugs are coming from.
this container has come from a high-risk import country to Freetown's port. Shipments from the UK, EU, and South America need to be searched
on there. Now play it back one time.
Searched for Kush ingredients.
To be Kush.
Let's go try again.
One fits the bill.
Let's try again because you didn't hear where they said this shipment was actually coming from. I've gone back too far. You're going to hear it for yourself, family. Oh,
Hey, if you want to get across
advert.
London, you do it by
Hang
tube.
on, sorry about this.
And they give you a tube map so you know how to navigate your way. So therefore, why does so
Skip. How dare you put an
many
advert on my
coaches,
thing after you
consultants, and experts,
demonetized my
so-called,
channel?
fail to give their
Demonetized my
clients a
channel, but
map
they
of
still want
their
to put
journey?
adverts on my
Their
team. Go away. Right. Let me just play it for you where it is. We'll try again.
Open door. The drug is destroying everything they need to survive. But where is Kush coming from? This container has come from a high-risk import country to Freetown's port. Shipments from the UK, EU, and South America need to be searched for
UK,
Kush
EU,
ingredients.
and South America.
To be Kush.
And this one fits the bill.
The initial testing shows that there are Kush items as well as acetone, which are also used in the processing of Kush.
And where have they been shipped from?
They've been shipped from the United Kingdom.
The UK is part of a transnational drug trade feeding Sierra Leone's growing crisis.
Okay, let me stop that there.
Destroying families,
Let me
eroding
stop that there.
communities.
Family. But please do watch that. There's another one that I want you to watch as well. And let me just see if this one will play. This one's I downloaded beforehand. So let's see if this will play. Hold on.
Health professionals
No. This is not playing either. Oh, I don't know. I think, oh dear.
warn that Red 225, when abused,
And this one's been downloaded previously, so there shouldn't be a problem.
can cause respiratory failure,
This is what the
heart
drug can do.
problems,
This is what the health professional.
mental breakdowns, and even death. Emergency cases linked to the drug are rising.
Some of the mild side effects.
Okay, let's leave it there. You can watch this one, family, in your own time as well. It's decided it's not going to work for me either on YouTube or even the one that I downloaded previously. Zoom, whenever I'm on Zoom, everything just tends to work. Well, no, when I'm live, it all seems to work rather slowly. Okay, now is there anyone in the chat that would like to jump on here with me and share the platform? If so, let me get the link. I would really love to hear what you have to say about what I've been talking about today. If you would like to join me here on the Zoom platform, I'm just going to post the Zoom link for you very shortly. So get ready to jump on. We've been talking about these deadly drugs that our community is being targeted with. We are very aware of how these drugs affected our communities in the 80s. We should all be aware of that history, especially those of you who are plugged into the Pan-African Society or Pan-African organizations. So if you'd like to join me on Zoom, I've just posted the link. You are welcome. Okay, in the meantime, let me just see what you've been saying in the chat. There we go. So I've just posted the link. It should be coming up there now, family. So check it out, okay? Please get that link. There we go. Let me go back to the chat. Got the live chat. So thank you to everybody who is in the chat. Sister Carol says you need a hot link. What's a hot link? I need something. I need something, dear. What's a hot link? Dee Dee says, is there not a from and to on the parcels, or am I being naive? Yeah, you're right. There ought to be, so they should know where these parcels are coming from. Yeah, and who is going to come and collect them. Yes, indeed, you know. And so the authorities really ought to just wait and see who come to collect them or what address it's being delivered to, and take it from there. I'm sure they must be on that. I don't know. Kwame says, I'm not surprised that Britain shipped their nastiness into our continent. Betty says, yes, I saw this documentary last week. Rise up, Sister Betty, saying, no, say, you know, and not me just a chat and a talk, right? But what I'm presenting is based on investigative research work. And you can check out the Sky News report for yourselves as well on the Kush drugs that they said is coming in from the UK. Rise up, Betty, in the house. Good to have you in the house as well. Come on, I've just posted the link. Betty, jump on. Kwame, jump on. Who else is in the house? Dee Dee, rise up, jump on. The link is there. Just go to Zoom and put in that passcode and password, and you can join me up front. You can, you don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to. It's absolutely fine. You can just put your audio on, okay? Let's hear your voice. It's wonderful to hear the voices of our brothers and sisters. Sheriff S, jump on, come, let me know who you are. With camera on or off? Yes. Carol, would you like to join us? Absolutely agree with your comment here about the Sahel countries needing to be particularly vigilant during these times, because drug is most definitely used as a weapon of mass destruction. We've got Synovia in the house. Rise up, says the government is not on our side. You don't know, you know. Yes, Kwame, as always, we value your comments. Carol says the prison industry is booming in the US. People have prison stocks in their portfolio as it's traded on our stock market, you know, and they're just ruining the lives of our families and our men and our future, because we're here, you know, to build for tomorrow. But if our builders and our creators and our inventors and our great ones are incarcerated, then that jeopardizes our future. All of us suffer as a result of, you know, our most skilled and talented being locked up in their prisons. Synovia, rise up. Kingsley's in the house. Great to have you in the house, Kingsley. He says it's a synthetic version of tramadol. Okay. And anything synthetic is, as we know, is not good at all. Jump on, Kingsley. Maybe you want to share a little something about Wagwan in your community. Are you a young person who's watching? Are you aware of these drugs? You know, have any of these drugs been offered to you? You know, do you know anyone who is hooked on these drugs? Oh, looks as though I've been joined by someone. Who is that person? Rise up, Kwame Abache. Great to have you in the house. Take yourself off mute, my brother. Yes, rise up, brother Kwame Abache. Take yourself off mute, beloved, so we can hear you. You're still on mute.
Yeah, I'm off now. Yeah. Mommy Shanice, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Welcome,
Good,
welcome, my beloved brother.
No problem, my sister. That's what I'm there for. Well, I mean, when I watched the what happened in Sierra Leone, it broke my heart, you know, my sister. It is just about our people. It's just sad to be hooked on such a deadly thing like that, you know. I mean, I mean, I texted you. Did you see one of my texts, yeah? When I mentioned how these devils, yeah, had set up. Have you heard of the late Marion Barry, Sister Shanice?
No, sorry,
He's
no,
a
I haven't.
politician, Marion
Right.
Barry. Yeah, what they did, yeah, because they were claiming that Marion Barry was so hooked onto drugs. So what these wicked people do, they set him up by filming him to smoking cocaine. They're wicked, my sister. They're wicked
Who is
beasts.
he? What, a politician in which country?
In America, Marion Barry.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
this cocaine is a social drug among the politicians, among the entertainers, and amongst the artists. They all do it. And this is what they do. When they want to set up our people, they'll film them and then expose it. But they've got films of all of their people doing it. Yeah, but they don't expose their people, do they? Yeah.
They're evil.
And
yeah, go on, sister. Go on, carry on. Yeah.
I was going to say, and I need to do a show, another show to warn our entertainers, because when you look at across our very successful entertainers and to see, what the industry is doing to them, I need to do a show on that as well.
I wish. Even one of our heroes as well, Baba Malcolm X. I love him so much. Yeah, my hero. He said before he came into the liberation struggle, how these wicked people would use him to sell drugs. They were either lawyers, they were either doctors, they were either what else were they? They were even the police. Yeah, man. I said that I'm not sure. I mean, I tell you this, Shanice, these are devils. We need to wake up. Yeah, but once they plant things on us, yeah, they want to wipe us out. Listen to me as African people. We need to be together. Because these people are about wiping us out. Whether it's me, Shanice, anyone. They're wicked. They're wicked beasts.
I mean, I hear you on that, Brother Kwame, and I agree. We are living among devils and demons.
Devils.
And most of us don't realize it, Well, how could you do that? How could you make drugs that's like over 50 times more lethal than a lethal drug we're already struggling with, and then flood them, in the communities where young people are?
They're evil, my sister. They're wicked beasts, as you said. And before I go, I was on Brother Hugh Newton. Well, I mean, bless him as well. He was trying to stop them from putting these beasts who are trying to sell brothers drugs and so on, yeah? And they killed him. They killed Brother Hugh Newton. They used one of their own to kill him. They're wicked, them. Wicked. Anyway, Sister Shanice, my love to Brother Errol. Take care of yourself.
Right, so you take care as well too, Brother Kwame. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining
All
me
the best, my sister. Thanks very much.
On the platform. It's as easy as this. It's as easy as that, family. The link is in the chat. If you'd like to jump on, you might think that, what I've been talking about is a load of crap. If you think so, come on and have your say. We respect other people's views and opinions, and we'll have the conversation. But, I'm learning from history. And when I look at what happened in the 80s, in America, we're at a time when our community and our young people in particular in the Black Power movement was rising up. Yeah. And then suddenly, the crack epidemic just like totally mash up our communities. You can't tell me that wasn't part of a deliberate strategy against our people, especially when they themselves did their investigations and found that the CIA were involved. The CIA were involved. What's that about? What does that say? Okay, let me have a look at some more of your comments. Brother Kwame, are you saying no to drugs? Absolutely saying no to drugs. Sister Karen says, again, what is the title of your book? I am in the US and cannot find it on Amazon. Okay, thanks for asking. The title of the book is Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, An Erased African History Restored by Shanice Lindsay. You should be able to get it in America on Amazon by Amazon.com. And please do send me a picture of you with the book. I would love to have copies of that, you know, to feature in my promo. And if you don't want me featuring it in my promo, just let me know. But I'd still love to have copies just to know that some of you actually bought my book. And when you buy it as well, because I'm monitoring Amazon, you know, because with Amazon, I don't know if I sell 5 books, 10 books, 50 good books, 200 book or 1,000 book. I wouldn't know. Yeah, they can tell me sell 1 book, me sell, me wouldn't know, because they don't tell you who's buying your books. They just tell you the number of sales. And so, you know, they're running a business. They're not running a charity. We know what businesses are like. Yeah. All right. You have to keep on top of your business and on top of your game. Otherwise, you know, like they say, what you snooze, you lose. So yeah, if you get the book, family, please do let me know. I would love for you to have a copy. It's called Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, an Erased African History Restored. Okay, and it's full of symbolism that's linked to our history. So yes, please do get the book. And if you want to get a signed copy of the book, you can, if you're in the UK, the UKKK, you can either see me at events. I'll be around at various events over the summer in the UKKK, and I'll have my books or some copies of my books with me if you'd like a signed copy. Or you can email me at shanicebooks55@gmail.com. That's shanicebooks55@gmail.com. If you email me there, okay, if you're in the UK, send me your address and I'll send you the link to where you pay, and then I'll post you a signed copy. All right. If you're in the US and you just want me to send you the link because you're not finding it on Amazon, you can email me here and I will send you the link. All righty. So we are 3 minutes away from the top of the hour. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening to hear this really important message that we need to get out to our young people and our communities. Let me try the thing again. Yeah. You know, more time, they don't even come up with something new, you know, at all time something come back again. They just wrap it up in a different package and they come with the same thing again, over and over again. That's why it's important that we learn from history. Marion Barry was mayor of Washington, D.C., a black mayor of Washington, D.C., and look what they did to them. And they love to destroy our people, you see. I'm going to have to do something on that. Rise up, Betty. Good to have you in the house. Says during the Vietnam War and after the 60s and 70s, this attack on our community started. We've got Amma in the house. We got Sister Afri Jamo in the house. Rise up. We've got Brother Glenroy in the house as well, saying yes, the New York mayor. You know, all of them do it. But when it comes to our people, this is what they do. They always make sure they get the dirty on all the politicians. That's why if you're going into politics, if you're going into their arena, family, make sure you keep your nose clean. Make sure they don't have anything on you, because anything they have on you, yeah, when they're ready, they will expose it to get rid of you. Especially if you're not playing to their tune, yeah? I saw them steer. Rise up, family. Look at what they do to the man. Ruined him. Atlanta, GA, says the Barber. Okay, so rise up, family. As always, it's been a pleasure of mine to have your attention. Rise up, Sherilyn. She says the book is on Amazon. Must type the whole title. Oh, okay. All right. So you need to type the whole title before it comes up. Thank you very much for that, Sherilyn. Great to have you in the house. Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, an Erased African History Restored. Let's get that there. Yes, family, please support the works. And then in time to come, I'll be doing some workbooks and some workshops. And I'd love you to join me because we're going to be having this conversation about an entire African history that has just been washed over or erased. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, family. We're at the top of the hour. It's gone so quickly. Brother Kwame Oboje, who jumped on with me, thank you so much. Brother Courtney, who joined me at the earlier part of the show, do join him for the breakdown of the film Sinners. If you missed the first part of the show, just rewind on YouTube and get the links and the information about our brother Courtney's breakdown of the film Sinners, which is full of symbolism and hidden African history that he is going to be revealing to us in such a way that you will never watch a movie in the same way again. Sister Shanice, out of here for now. Thank you so much.